Our build is inspired by Norwegian. It's called a stavkirke.
We wanted to add something unique and different, kind of a standout piece when you walk in. It's actually strengthened, I guess, the idea that we want to be together, spend more time together, even though we're always together. Hi, we're Abe and Mel, and this is our Ford Transit Extended High Roof.
Welcome to the inside of our van. We went with a dark build. Last time we had a white build, now we have a dark. I can't really say that cleaning is any easier yet, we'll see. But this is our kitchen right here. First thing you come in, we have a 77-inch counter. So in our last van, the ProMaster, we had about half of this amount. So we just wanted to get a little bit more because you can always use counter space. We actually got it from IKEA. It is not a butcher block. And I can't actually say I recommend it because it seems to scratch very easily. The sealant or the sealing on it is not that great. So I would actually not recommend that. Go with a butcher block, just not the thick ones because those are really heavy for builds. So as you can see, we do not have a cooktop built in here. One thing that we enjoyed while traveling is having the ability to bring our cooktop out to the picnic table or further down to the beach or in the forest, wherever you are. We like to be able to cook outside versus being forced to cook inside the van. Another thing is if it gets really hot, you can bring it outside and not worry about warming your van up even more if it's already really hot outside. We have an induction cooktop. We store it right above our cab here in a case so we can bring it out whenever it is needed. So for our sink, we went with IKEA as well. Our build is inspired by Norwegian. It's called a stavkirke, which are stave churches that I grew up in Norway, and we had a lot of those there. They have these little dragon heads on the peaks. So we thought that this faucet head sort of abstracts like a dragon head, sort of. So for the faucet, we decided to put it in the corner. That way you can move it over and then you can see directly out of the window. The nice thing about this window is a slider window. So for ventilation, as far as like when you're cooking right here, it can go right out, or while you're doing the dishes, you can enjoy the view. We also have another window on the opposite side here that is in the sliding door. So one thing we really wanted as much as we could without getting too many windows was being able to look on all four sides of our van. Before I go further into detail of our kitchen, I want to share our lock system here. It is magnetic baby locks. So in order to get them, as you can see right now, you can't get in. Put the magnet right onto where the lock is and it opens. The nice thing about it is you can flip a little switch there and then it will always stay open. So when you're somewhere stationary for a while, you don't have to worry about unlocking them each time or pulling on a hard like 5-pound or 10-pound little pull. If you don't know, if you haven't traveled yet, or if you have traveled, you'll know how bad gray water stinks. And we did not realize that. So we have two options in here. One is for the water to go directly outside so that we can prevent the stinkiness in here. And the other is if we're in like a city or somewhere where we can't have our water go directly outside, we have a little bucket down there. So we can have a quick release hose connector go from the bucket or to the outside. So in the top drawer here is our pretty much everything kitchen storage. We have our pots and pans, plates, silverware, food containers, you name it. And then right below that is our chest fridge. We have an Alpi-Cool chest freezer fridge combo. We decided to go with a little bit bigger one, and a freezer was definitely must have for me. Got to have room for that ice cream. If you don't know us, we love ice cream. Right down in here is the last bit of our kitchen storage. We have a microwave and an Instant Pot right down here. So for the microwave, we do use that often. The Instant Pot maybe not as much, but we like the idea of to be able to cook chicken in like 13 minutes. The longer we've had the Instant Pot, we've actually realized there's a lot of other things you can do with it. So as you can see, we don't have an oven in here, but we've been able to make pizzas in there. I made brownies in there. So Instant Pot, if you've got a good electrical system, I'd recommend getting one. So you saw all these drawers here are for our kitchen storage. You wonder where our food is. We actually have a pantry. So it seemed like a lot of wasted space here in the middle. So we decided to add just a thin, I think it's about 8-inch little cabinet here in between. We also have room for food storage up here. Traveling is something I did a good bit growing up. I lived in Norway, so we were able to travel and visit some Europe countries over there. And then it was one of those things where I wanted to do more, but work always seemed to, in a way, get in the way because you only could have so much time off. And then when you did have that time off, you almost felt like you couldn't always get to the destination you wanted to get to Ours was Olympic National Park. It was a good ways from an airport. Also was a good ways to get out there from where we were living in Michigan. So I'd seen online some people that traveled full-time in RV, so I then started to try to convince him that it was a great idea. I planned out a lot of details to make sure that like he could see that this was a good idea, because I could see it all in my head, but getting that vision to him was a lot harder.
So I was never completely opposed to the idea of traveling. It was more of a, you're kind of stuck in the mindset of the normal person, I guess, where you look forward to retirement. You got to have money. I mean, you got to go 9 to 5. You got to make sure you're fully set. Don't make the leap. Be secure, that sort of thing. With COVID and everything, I actually lost my job. I actually looked for another job during that time period, and I got one. It was one of those things where if it worked out, I was going to be there for, I don't know, 30 years. With that job, I never saw Mel. So we kind of had that discussion where it was like, what do we want to do? We knew we wanted to leave Michigan. So that was our time to give this a shot. Originally as well, we were planning on this being a 1-year sort of thing, where we would find the perfect place where we wanted to settle down. That never happened. After a couple months on the road, we decided that we wanted to do this indefinitely. As we live this lifestyle, it's actually strengthened, I guess, the idea that we want to be together, spend more time together, even though we're always together. So that's kind of, or not kind of, it is why we want to continue this, because we want to spend, as much time as we can together. Over here we have our bathroom / bench / shower area. To get our bathroom and shower set up, what we do is move this someplace. We may eventually put this board on a hinge to make it a little bit easier. But right now, we're just kind of keeping it simple. And our shower comes up like this. We got the shower nozzle system from Amazon. It's powered by batteries. Basically, what you'll do is you'll have we can heat up water, or if it's warm out, cold water. This will go into a bucket, and then this is a spray nozzle. It'll just go right in here, and you'll be able to spray around like a faucet. What we did with the shower to waterproof it was we put Red Guard on the plywood here, and then we put vinyl sheet flooring around that, and then we also put silicone in the corners and on the tops here. What we use for a toilet is kind of the simplest way to do it. We have a 5-gallon bucket. We don't have a urine diverter right now. That may be something we used in the future, but it's not anything we've had an issue with. We use peat moss, or we actually use horse bedding as well. That works really well to soak up the urine. Here we have a Lagoon table mount. So we do use this quite often. It's very convenient for someone sitting in the swivel seat up front, or if, like I said, they're just sitting on the bench here. So continuing with the bathroom area, up here we have bathroom toiletry stuff. And this area as well has a little bit, little open right now. We haven't quite decided everything we want to go in there yet, but it's got a little bit of Mel sticker business, fan, some other toiletry stuff. Here we have some extra counter space as well. Down here we have miscellaneous things. We have a jackery in here. That's just nice to have in case you want to go outside and have something portable with you. You want to sit by the beach, something like that. In the back here we have a door leading to our garage. The reason why we have that is if it's rainy outside, we still have access to get back there. And with the open space of our garage, it's quite large. So in order to get to some things in the back, it's super convenient to have that there. This is the bedroom area. In our previous van, we did have a Murphy bed. This time around, we went with the stationary bed, just because we are full-time travelers and we valued the storage aspect rather than having the openness. We have a short queen mattress, so we have some more storage here for socks and things like that. Up here, we have clothing section right here, closet, I guess you'd call it. Over here, we saw this while looking through different pictures in normal houses, so to speak. This little open space, we just wanted to add a little, I guess, artistry to it. We can add, right now we just have hats in it, but in the future we can put little decorations in there as well. As you can see, we have a fan on the back and a fan up front. That helps with ventilation. In our previous van, we only had one fan, and we have definitely noticed that that is very helpful to have one fan going in and one fan going out. For the heating aspect of our van, we have a diesel heater. For the heating aspect, we do have a gas heater. That is controlled by a little system over here. We can pick the temperature of the time, that sort of thing. Here we have probably my favorite part of the build. We wanted to add something unique and different, kind of a standout piece when you walk in. If you ever look up a stav church from Norway, you'll notice that they actually have these rustic shingles like these. We got some really cheap reclaimed wood from Home Depot, reclaimed wood flooring. And we just cut these out and then stained them, polyurethaned them, and put them up here with some brad nails.
So one thing you do have to keep in mind is have like a backup savings, because you never will know what's gonna come up. As cliche as that sounds, it's true. After we left Michigan, our first stop was to White Sands National Park, so a good 2,000 some miles away from home. So we stopped there and our engine blew in our first van. And we were stranded there. No, we couldn't drive it, no place to go, have to get a hotel. Do I really wanna spend the money on the hotel? All those types of things. About 8 some grand later in a new engine, we were then on our way 16 days later. Our luck didn't stop there. We've got great luck with these types of things. After we decided to sell our van, we got our new one and had some of the build process started from a builder, and then 2 days, not even 48 hours after that, our van was totaled. It was hit on the side of the road. So we then had to restart. But like I say, it's one of those things where it's like, why are we still doing van life if we have this type of luck? But hopefully better luck here on out, where it's just the freedom and such a different type of lifestyle. I can't say it makes it worth it, because going through your camper van totaled and you have no idea where to go or what to do next, that was emotionally draining. But when we look at our expenses and like the things we've seen and the people we've met, like in a way, I guess you could say it makes it worth it.
This is our huge garage. All sorts of different things back here. One feature that we added is kind of a last minute thing and already worked out well for us is we added garage lights here. The first night out, I walked to the back to look for something and pulled out my phone, and Mel was like, "What are you doing? We have lights." And voila, there you go. One of the other things we've added is we haven't had leveling blocks, and this time around we decided to get some of those. There's been certain places where we've really wanted to camp, but it's just been a little too wonky for us. So we're pretty excited to use those.
It's hard to see our electric, but it's going to be right back in the corner here. Easiest way to see it is when we peek in from our door that goes from the front to the garage. We have 600 watts of solar on the roof. We have 3,000 watt inverter, which has been able to handle our microwave, Insta-pot, pretty much anything we put to the test. And then we also have 400 amp hour lithium batteries. We also have a DC to DC inverter charger to charge up the batteries while we're driving. And then the third thing is we have shore power. The shore power hookup is right in the side of the van here. Strangely enough, in our last build, we kept saying, next build we do, if we were gonna do a build, we're gonna have a tank, we're gonna have a tank. But as you can see, we actually have jugs. We talked with numerous other people who had tanks, and just the maintenance and then the fact that some of them leak, we decided just to go back to the jugs because we were familiar with it. We were able to bring them to different fill-up station spots that we couldn't always get a hose to fill up our tank. So we have 35 gallons of fresh water. How we have it hooked up is just a quick release hose connector again here, so we can take it from one jug and to the next. So that way we don't have to fully switch out the water every single time, only every 2 times. So it really depends on how good you are at conserving water, how much you use, because I could see that using these jugs would become a pain. But it's every few days that we actually have to change it, change like when one of our jugs emptied. So I guess it comes down to how often do you use your water, how much do you use, what do you need it for, are you taking full-on showers in the van, are you gonna use more water? That would be some of the factors to play in to figure out if you should go with jugs or a tank.
if your mindset is something that you're kind of hesitant to pursue this lifestyle, anyone I'm going to meet or we would meet, I would say do it, even if it's not a full-time thing or not like, hey, I'm going to live this way for 10 years. I would say give it a shot, 6 months, a year. You may want to continue longer than that, or it's just an experience that you can
reflect on and remember. It's one of those things where even if you do make the leap, you still can, like, we could still sell this van and move to an apartment and start stationary jobs again. It's one of those things where it's like, just because we're doing this doesn't mean we can't go back. So I think having that ability and knowledge of like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I can move to here. Like, we've been so many places and met so many people that it's like, I feel like opportunities have risen even more than when we were just stationary in Michigan.
Thanks for watching our van tour.
If you'd like to follow along further with us, we have links below for our YouTube channel. We also have a sticker shop. If you need any stickers, let us know. We are posting a lot of information about van life and those types of aspects. And also, if you do want to see a sad crash, it's over on our channel as well. But you can find us at Abe and Mel Van Travels.